West Coast.
It's true.
Yo,
Hello, how you doing, Eric?
doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. I actually didn't struggle, but I got through a second viewing of Andor this morning. As I
Nice.
tried over the past 2 days, and I just had shit going on and stuff. And
Yeah.
So I went over the second time, and even though the second time I usually pause it and get some screen captures and whatnot, it's awesome, man. Like I didn't miss much the first time. I usually don't, but it's a show that I'm gonna enjoy watching this. I think from I had Christmas Day maybe, or one of those days where everyone's on holiday, or just watch the season one in length and see if I have a different feeling about it. Welcome, Super John.
Hey, John.
We woke you up.
No,
Just in
sorry,
time.
Barber.
I was watching a show while eating lunch, and I look up and go, "Oh crap!"
You didn't miss much.
I see you got
sorry.
you go to the same barber as me. Nice work.
Oh yeah, I just took it all off the other day. Yep.
Okay.
I'm
might grow
just
back.
about there.
Yeah, I let it go too long. It was getting bushy and bedhead all the time, and so.
Did you see my new high production value intro to the last episode of the Andor after show?
You sent it on the thing, right? Yeah. that yeah.
It's
awesome.
so I'm as much as I'm talented in graphic arts and lots of stuff on computers and whatnot, when it comes to video editing, it just wasn't ever part of my life, like ever.
Yeah.
Until like the past summer, I guess, when I have iMovie on my iMac. Let's play around, and you're quite limited to be fair. Like it's cool and all,
yeah,
but,
yeah. Well, the free, it's
still
free,
learning,
right?
man.
That's the free one, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's free if you spend $3,800 on
a Mac.
computer.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say that they never give you like the greatest features for what they consider free. You know what I mean?
Well, it's made, so grandma can do it, and
Yeah.
and your 8-year-olds and stuff, and their iMacs and whatnot. So I get it. I know there's Adobe Premiere and all the high end stuff, and it's like reading Korean language and algebra at the same time. To me, it's like like HTML, early website stuff. I know a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know anything to do with that kind of stuff.
What's hilarious is like,
welcome.
I learned like everything of HTML and what was it?
Man. And now you really don't need to. It's all WYSIWYG.
Yeah. And I learned like I think it was like CSL and all these other like advanced programming stuff for what was it?
CSS.
That's
CSS,
it. Yeah. Advanced programming stuff for the web, like. You know what I mean? And then you do Squarespace, you just bloop, so it's just like, and I've forgotten most of it. Like, I'm like, I don't need to tweak that. I know I can tweak it if I go into the code, but I don't remember now, like half the things,
I'm glad
I wish I knew some
that
JavaScript.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Good day to Michael from down under.
Hey.
See Paul's Collectibles sneaking in here if I can click on the button.
Good to see Paul. Good to see you.
So if everyone doesn't know, this is the Andor after show, and we're gonna spoil the heck out of it. Not that it hasn't been spoiled. It's been a few days now. I've now watched it twice. I was just telling Eric, I got a second viewing in this morning.
I watched it again with my brother.
I really dug this series. Like, I kind of put in the chat, like, I'm gonna give the overall series a 9 out of 10.
Oh, perfect.
As
10.
far as TV and entertainment and everything goes, I loved it. One of my faves of all time. But as for Star Warsiness, like, it loses a couple points. Like, it lost a point for those damn lawn chairs. Boom, lost a point.
Don't you dare say screws and bricks.
No, it's kind of cool. Like, in this episode, I saw Val was drinking it looked like a Lipton iced tea glass, recyclable bottle. I'm like, okay, I'll let that fly. But yeah, just it was missing. It felt like I could go outside and be in this environment, and which part of it I like because it makes Star Wars seem real. Like, as a kid, Star Wars is real, but it's not real. It's fantasy and it's meant to not be, real. But so yeah, just the lawn chairs was my biggest hate. dislike of the whole series.
This
And
one
I
made
bet you,
up
man,
for
I
it.
bet you they go back and they freaking erase that just because of me.
This episode made up. There's so many Easter little things in the background.
Yeah,
I was like, yes, oh, it's him. Oh, look at that.
I'm digging the costumes. You know, of course, the live action, the set, the props, you know, the real kind of stuff like that. But the costumes are cool. Like, it's always
marching
they're pulling
bands.
a little bit from Rogue One or a little bit from this and that, whether it's unused, you know, costumes or props or aliens or ships. But I love all that because that's all all their own, you know, I'm not gonna call it merchandise, but their own property, whether it's drawings or concepts. If they pull from Ralph McQuarrie or Doug Chang or, you know, any, you know, the famous artists or talented people that they have in their archives, I like to see that stuff. That's the Star Warsiness that I love so much. So when they throw a lawn chair in there, it's, you know, it ain't a screw and a brick. I see Twitter today is blowing up because certain, you know, Star Wars, you know, theory people are getting hate because they didn't like the bricks or the screws or the Velcro. I don't know, what something to complain about, but
there's a screw on Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Too much. It's just
Stormtrooper
famous one.
Yeah.
For hate. Welcome, Lobot, sir.
Matt's here too from Zero Hunter. Lobot's here. Jonathan, Michael.
Hey, everyone.
Oh,
Duff.
Yeah, he's Zero Hunter. How
Bronze.
you doing, Matt? We're gonna catch up my chat here. So you guys, I'm assuming, are thumbs up on you know, this episode as far as,
yeah,
you know,
perfect,
like no big cliffhanger, whatnot. So I guess I'm not gonna say that's a knock, but I was kind of hoping for something like whoa, like a big wowzer kind of moment, and I got several almost wowzer moments, but
yeah. Well, they missed our perfect line we came up with last time. Remember, we were discussing what would be the best line to end the show on, and we said, "Welcome to the rebellion." Andor was like, Andor was sitting there going, "Take me in," and he just smirked. He just smirked. All he did is smirk.
But we all know what happens. But we all know what happens. That was just that. Yes. That I think was just more exemplary of like how well written and acted the show was.
But I still think that it was the perfect time. It was the perfect time for Luthen to just say, "Welcome to the rebellion." Show ends.
but that smirk said more than that smirk said more than anything, because it said everything he was doing to architect the rebellion and set things in motion worked, because he flipped someone like Cassian who couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. Well, and he witnessed the whole town rise up. I mean, it was the first.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's really the first rise up of the common people, you know, and her speech was brilliant. But I'm surprised they didn't cut it off earlier. I was like, why aren't they rushing the droid and telling it to shut
more
up?
than her speech, like her speech started that crew, who I think was already ready to go anyway. Like they were.
Well, the kid built the bomb. The kid was gonna.
I think some of it was kind of pre-planned and whatnot, so they knew what they were doing. Like it was. They didn't have blasters though, like so they were doing what they're doing, but throwing sticks and stones is how they're gonna do it. So that's hardcore, man.
I thought the same thing though. I was like, they knocked the stormtrooper out and the blaster falls down, and the guy runs up and starts hitting him with rocks and stuff. And goes, grab the blaster, grab the blaster. I'm like, it's right there. You know, get it.
Yeah, a couple of good scenes when it came to the fighting and riding, whatever you want to call it. It picked up there. That was you know, and you know, halfway through the episode, as everything was leading, you know, the march and the parading and, you know, the music, you know, the flutes, like that threw me out of Star Wars-ness a little bit. Was just, you know, the flutes and the trumpets. I'm like, it's a flute, but it's octagonal shaped. I don't know. Everything was octagonal shaped. Like we'll pull
like steampunk.
A lot of photos I took. So, you know, with the Empire, the parts they're building, you know, the stuff we see in the after credit scene, Mel Sheep's shirt, like that octagon, or that 7-sided shape, is everywhere. And it's even, you know, like the B2MO droid, like I was looking into, it's everywhere. It's in Mon Mothma's apartment building. It's in the streets of Ferrix. It's the shape of the bricks. It's like everything is this shape. So it's it's weird artistically, but it's also freaking awesome artistically because I think this episode was the most cinematographic, if that's the best way of putting it. I think it was the best one that would have looked awesome on the big screen, and I really liked a lot of the shots.
Yeah.
It was dark. Most of the series has been dark. Like it seems that there's mostly only nighttime in Star Wars, but I loved the imagery and stuff that the show ended with. It was pretty badass, man. The music was upgraded a little bit every episode, as we saw, and I wonder how much of that, those people walking down the streets playing the flutes and the drums and stuff, were actual, band people. Like were the people?
Oh, those were. They said they said that Tony Gilroy said that they had the actual band playing on set with the actors.
But now we finally see literally.
What
they were like marching down the street.
They had they basically got people who were familiar with marching band or something, and they did their own thing. Made up their own. They looked like they made up weapons that looked a little bit Star Wars-y, but they were still playable in the real world. Because it was clearly it was clearly a flute or whatever with parts added onto it, right?
Yeah. I thought,
yes.
I'm not sure if I picked up on any non-instruments. I thought they were all like real instruments that were just kitted
modified.
Out to be just
because one guy had almost a regular tuba, but it was kitted out. You're right, and another one had the flute.
I thought, like, if we're skipping ahead to that just real quick, I think one thing I would have liked to have seen. I get what they did from a practical like filming perspective to get the music like in the tone set for the actors and all the extras on set. But it would have been cool if they brought in some like Star Wars instruments that
like things from the Cantina band and stuff.
Just have some actors pretending like they're playing some like that whatever clue horns or
I got you. I agree.
Yeah.
Brian's here too. Brian Myers. Good to see him.
Welcome, Brian.
And we said hi to Matt from Zero Hunter, right? Hey, Matt.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get started because I know we only got
Hoppy.
4 hours.
Oh, Hoppy's
here. 4
here.
hours of content here today. So we open up with, forgive me with some of the names and stuff.
Son.
Yeah.
But the one guy's shop owner's son, who we're, I guess, have to assume was hung or killed.
They said they hung him.
So
did you guys know immediately what he was doing?
He had to be building a bomb, right?
Yeah.
Only because there was a trailer where they show him throwing a damn bomb.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, that's from like a year ago. Like some of these, a lot of scenes from today's episode were in like the trailer, like last Christmas or whenever it came out. So it's interesting to put it together, and it reminded me again, like me and Eric briefly spoke before. When they filmed on Ferrix, they filmed it all like the original first 2 weeks of filming. So including the first few episodes on Ferrix, with Marva alive.
Yeah, they filmed it out of order.
The finale climax that we saw the other day was filmed like the next day kind of thing. So it's interesting that in the filming industry how a lot of this stuff is done and
they film quite often. They film a lot of it out of order because it's based on
it's cheaper
when you got the set. Cost. Yeah, you got the set. Here's what we're going to film while we have this set, and then you move on to another set. And
I love all that. The production value on this show. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Like they put a lot of effort. And time.
I kept watching this shuttle land over and over. I just wanted to see this scene. Look at it, and that's one of those like from the Rogue One shuttle thing, right?
The carrier. Yeah, that's one of the ones.
Yeah. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful picture?
Yeah, very, very badass. So Star Wars, so we get some Star Wars in the Andor show, and even though it was, a glimpse, a short, 15-second scene, we get, Deidre, and only two Death Troopers.
That shot was shuttle. That was also in the trailer, right? Wasn't this in the trailer? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one I've been waiting, 12 weeks to use as a thumbnail because it was one of the cooler promotional images that they had out there. But yeah, pretty badass. I was really excited for the scene, and it just came and went. But we did get to see the Death Troopers. Which one thing about the Death Troopers in this episode is we don't hear them.
No, yeah, we didn't hear
One of
that.
the more interesting things about them is their little audible kind of sparkles that come from their helmets and whatnot.
They kept quiet. They're more stealthy.
Hello, Hoppy. So yeah, not disappointed, but yeah, how hard is it to add in a couple of little moments of dialogue? Because they show them later in the show, as they're hunting down Andor, throughout the village and whatnot, right?
Except you didn't see, like, I think I would have expected them to, like, waste some of the civilians or whatever. But I don't think, like...
I saw one get killed, for sure.
Well, Cassian dusted one fairly easily, and I don't think you saw the other, what happened to the other one, or to my recollection.
I have to assume that the people won, because we don't kind of see the ending of it, but we see Sarge in the street having a little shot from the flash, walking by with their groceries, and I'm like, oh, I guess the war's over. Like, so it just kind of went on. I don't know, time passed, 24 hours or something maybe, but so we get to see Bix again, who we haven't seen for a lot of the series, just the beginning mostly. And obviously she's not doing well. She's got a mattress and a bucket. Like, hey, that's pretty sad, but. Wait, Paul. Throughout the episode, as she hears, the people playing their instruments, and then later with Marva's hologram speech. Very interesting to get her perspective of it, because she looks like she's out of it, like completely out of it, right?
Yeah. Oh, she totally is. Because when he shows up, she's like, I can't leave. It'll upset them. You know what I mean? Like she's been
like Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, in a sense. But I want to hit on Paul's thing here. What he says next, where they
cancel that Junkman.
Yeah, Junkman's here. He said, Eric, I needed the Death Troopers to be more evil and badass. It brought up a question in my mind.
And taller. It seems like they might have been a little short for Death Troopers.
Are they just? Have they ever said in like Star Wars canon or lore that? I mean, Eric, you might know this. Did they ever say that they're any better than a regular stormtrooper?
Yeah, they're like the elite.
I believe.
Yeah.
Well, then why aren't they all kitted out? Like when our military goes into like, the Navy SEALs or whatever, they've got freaking swords, daggers, bombs on them, extra ammo, all this gear. You know what I mean? So Death Troopers are just seen with a gun and one pouch.
They have like a boot knife, some kind of
Star Wars
blade or something.
How are they any more badass than a stormtrooper? I just think they're a regular stormtrooper. They've just been given a different assignment and different armor.
They don't miss.
They could be.
I don't know. Yeah, no, but it would be interesting to see like a bit more about. It would be actually a really interesting story. Just tying things into Mandalorian would be to see what's his name, Bill Burr's character. Migs Mayfeld's backstory and whatnot, and like what part of the Imperial Special Forces he was a part of, and
he was a cool character for sure. Like, and the fact
because I'm not sure if he was a
backpack with a little extra gun that came up was cool. Because
what I'm getting at is like the ARC troopers from the Clone Wars were more kitted out than these Death Troopers. ARC troopers had a dagger on them. They had 2 extra guns. They had a rifle. They had the cloaks around them, with all this extra equipment. Some of them had bandoliers with stuff in them. And I'm like, why aren't the Death Troopers kitted out if they're supposed to be special forces? We don't send our special forces to battle with just one gun.
Consider what the mission was. Paul's last comment there, I think, was spot on.
Yeah. They had a mission, right?
Yeah, it was to protect Dedra, not to like.
Well, I mean, even the ones in Rogue One weren't super kitted out, but that's what I'm saying. Are they just a protective unit for dignitaries and special high ups? But technically, they're just a little bit better than a regular stormtrooper and just given different armor. You know what I mean? Or are they really supposed to be like special forces guys? That was kind of my question.
I don't think. I think they are like they've been portrayed more as special forces, but we haven't seen too much of them in use. I know we saw them in Rebels a little bit protecting some of those the Kyber crates and whatnot. And we saw them.
And like in Rogue One, they were protecting Krennic, and then in Mandalorian, they're protecting Moff Gideon, but
Gideon.
it's like, he's using a couple of them as his personal guard, but
Yeah.
I just was, I would,
and
I think I would just like to
see
see
the stormtroopers actually had good aim in this episode.
Yeah, they did. A couple of them did, especially with the cannon from Force Awakens, the deleted scene.
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, we now know that you can headbutt a stormtrooper if you're a big guy, and it works.
That would hurt my
Brasso's
head. I'm sorry, that would hurt my head.
I got to remember his name because I really enjoyed his character.
Oh yeah,
the 10 minutes or whatever screen time he had throughout the episode. He's a good character, and it's when you see him and Andor embrace later. Andor brings him in again and gives him some extra bro loveness. Like you can tell he really cares for the guy, and it's important to Andor's relationship and his mom's relationship, and even Bix and the other characters. We can see some of them are quite close.
Yeah,
we may not know how close, but it's obvious that they mean a lot to each other.
Well, and they all had a plan to get out together. Obviously, that whole group,
Yeah, and it's a select few too, right? Like it's it's interesting. Like I don't want to say where are all these other people, but I'm sure. I'm kind of led to believe that they won, and the Empire fled or whatnot. Like,
but it doesn't mean
they won. They won,
but those four people. But you never know.
They won the day, but I guarantee you this: the Empire will come back in force and subjugate the rest of the people. Yeah,
because they just had a garrison. It wasn't like they had, like entire combat unit or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
more like the riot squad, right?
Yeah.
So Buddy here gets, he tells Big Guy about, I got Andor called me, and he's like, what? Brings them all, all hush secret, but basically it sounds like they both think Andor will come for, the funeral and whatnot. So, the plan that Andor has is working.
I like her in the disguise here. I thought this was cool. I was, as soon as I saw her walk in with the disguise, I was like, I want an action figure. Action figure.
Yeah, another option, right?
Action figure.
So not much of a disguise, but
Oh, I liked it though.
And it was just for that one night.
Yeah.
She wasn't in disguise the next day, hunting with the Death Troopers, which she probably should have been. Would have been safer. But the disguise obviously didn't work because she was spotted and followed. And I really like this character. This character is a badass character.
She's so focused on the mission too. I mean, even when she sees Val again, Val's like, "Oh, what? Like, come on, well, you haven't seen each other in a while." And it's like, mission first, like, let us get out of here alive before we,
Yeah. Remember, you can slap them in the helmet too from the Kenobi show. Just deafen them. Even if you're a woman, women did it, right? So we get to see a little alien guy. I'm like, woohoo, little alien creature.
Oh yeah, the little with the glasses, like. So
I believe he's a reuse of a creature from Force Awakens or some other Star Wars.
They had the glasses from what's her face, the little thing.
Maz Kanata.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, we see him a little later in the streets. And then this asshole is like, get some info, and he's gonna turn in Andor. So. Hopefully he blows up real good. Oh wait, he does. So yeah, screw that.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get back at Cassian because he owed him a whole bunch of money.
The Empire came back 2 hours later and just nuked everybody. So yeah, it just kind of surprised me. I'm like, really? Like, and then when the scene happens, he's like, just pretend you're arresting me. Yeah. Like he's expecting some big reward or whatever, and he gets blown up. Like. So they kind of go back and forth, showing this young lad, building what he's building, this bomb. And at first they showed this hologram, and I'm like, oh, he's looking at a picture of Andor, like because we just see it from the back. So then we get to see it is his dad, and we're led to believe, okay, his dad is gone now, and he has more of a reason to fight now than ever before. So, interesting. This kid got saved in the end too, so this character is obviously gonna probably do something pretty decent and important. And
I hope they all make it to get to the rebellion. You know what I mean? Like that would be really cool if they all get back together and at least some of them join up. With Cassian. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, there was lots of sticks and stones, and that was awesome though. But like that's you do what you got to do, right? Like you're not fighting dirty. You're
well, and it brings back that whole thing. What Saw said, he was like, Saw used to tell me one man with a sharp stick defending his freedom could win the day. You know.
If Salacious Rum is in the chat, please put away your monkey sock. This is not that same video. This is a different video, but it kind of looks like it's that video that you're thinking about.
Yeah, I need help carrying up. Right?
Oh, okay. I'll be right there. I'm on a stream, but I'll be right there. Okay.
You go do what you gotta do, John.
Dad went grocery shopping and he can't carry the stuff up, so I got to go get it. Okay.
Oh, good.
Take your time.
Yeah. Well, we're on the second floor. And the elevator's broke. He can't carry everything up the
Florida, go help Super John. So we'll just go over this sex scene here. So Mom,
this was really good though.
Rips open her shirt. Yeah, it was a neat scene, as small as she was in this episode, like just a couple of scenes. It was important, and it filled a good chunk of story that we're like, oh, what's gonna happen? But she knows this guy's spying, right? Obviously, she's like, we want silence, and she knows it's not silent, and then she's blaming Bunhead guy for you're gambling again, crazy gambler. And do you think he is doing any gambling, or is he just getting 100% of this?
Maybe, but it doesn't matter because she did this to send some counterintelligence to the ISB to set the stage that there might be some shadiness to her personal family accounts where Perrin is taking out a whole bunch of money to gamble with. So she's trying to cover. So she's trying to cover things up and set the stage that she's upset with her husband, and the spy, the driver Cloris, already knows that there's a rift between them. So this just kind of highlights that, and you see later that they buy it hook, line, and sinker. Yeah,
it's pretty, lowball and rebellious of her. I'm not trying to think of good words, but she's being like, the biatch of all biatches, doing this to her, her prearranged husband, but he's a dick anyway. So, but throwing him under the bus to take the blame.
Yeah.
For like the money laundering or whatever she's kind of got going on, paying for the rebellion. But just very cool, man. Like, and it's just kind of not thrown in, but a small scene, a little bit of dialogue, but it's important dialogue. Like it kind of lays the ground, and we later see, Buddy goes and relays his information onto his
Blevin,
right?
Yeah, Blevin.
Yeah, who Deidre's kind of was headbutting with earlier on. Again, just a small scene, but just relaying that information that we just saw to confirm it was done for a reason, right? And it's to trick everyone. It's a big trick.
Paul was saying she's playing 4D chess with the
ISB very, very much so.
Loved it.
So again, we've seen that chauffeur guy like 5 or 6 times throughout the series, even though I think he only had dialogue once today. Like, I don't think he spoke a lot other than yes, ma'am, or yes, sir, kind of thing in previous thing. But he is pretty clueless, but he wears his hair like a clown, so he deserves it. So love Mon Mothma in this series, and we just get to see her one more time. She's doing what she got to do. It
wasn't her. I don't think that was her choice as much, though, because her daughter wanted to participate in that kind of culture anyway.
She did.
So it was more like, okay, well, if you're going to do it, here you go, because it'll be like mutually beneficial or whatever. So she's not happy about it, right? I don't think she's.
Oh no, you could tell even from the beginning she didn't want to do it. She's like, it'll never happen. And then he's like, oh yeah, well, or he made some kind of weird, smart ass comment, and he was totally accurate about it.
But I think she also like resigned herself to the notion that her daughter's going to do it anyway. So if she's going to participate in that kind of betrothal anyway, it might as well be beneficial to the rebellion.
Yeah. So we have a little bit of reuniting here with Val and her blanket sharing partner. And it's a cool scene. I like the mono binoculars, and she's, business. This is all business for her. And Val is kind of like, no, let's go smooch or something, like,
Mm-hmm.
And then the next scene, Val's like, okay, stepping away from the window. I'm like, oh, snap. Is she going to like murder her lover? Because for whatever reason, like, no, I really did think that. Did anyone else think something was about to happen here? Not like, making whoopee, but I mean, like, I thought she was maybe gonna kill her, like, for a brief moment. Like, I'm like, oh shit, like, why is she making her step away from the window? And then they never explained why. They went on to the next scene.
Yeah, there could have been like an extended dialogue here where she said something, but they felt they didn't need it when they were done.
These sequences didn't do much for me personally.
Yeah. And they may have felt like it didn't add to the story. So
they definitely did. Until later, we see her and the two of them together again, and she's like, "Oh, you got blood on your hands," and she's like, "Oh, it's not my blood." And I'm like, "Okay, that was a cool scene." Like, but this other scene, it didn't add nothing to me. Just a little bit.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, it felt like there may have been like some extended dialogue, but when they actually, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in all these episodes that they cut down. Once they probably shot a lot more than they needed. They
actually
things down a little bit, don't they?
You would think that, but I think in some interview I read with Tony Gilroy, they said they only had like 2 big sequences that were cut. They were very lean with the shots, and they used almost everything.
Almost everything. Okay.
I'm sure there were alternate takes and maybe some.
Yeah, I just thought like there might have been an extra line of dialogue there, and they cut it because it didn't really need to be there to make the episode flow a little better. I don't know, because they do that sometimes. But
I think it was more to just set the stage that Vel was back and back on Ferrix, and Cinta was aware, right? So I
don't want
it was all right. Like, I'm not complaining. It just didn't seem like it added that much.
But I think Brian's making a point. I think Brian's making a point that Hasbro always picks the wrong figure to make. Like, none of us really need that guy, but they will for some reason.
I want that figure. There's definitely I want Hammer Guy. I want Sarge. Like, there's a couple that are just cool.
Oh, I want the two. Whatever guys that were like, hey, Jesus, Freddie and Phoebe or whatever the hell their names were.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee guys.
Yeah. I want those two.
So Andor visiting his kidnapping dad's brick.
Yeah, his dad, his kid.
As they have a back to tank flashback. Clem.
Hey, your hair on the background almost matches right up to his head.
Who, me?
No, on
the picture. Yeah. I planned that. I totally planned that.
You planned it.
I had to take this screenshot 10 times to get that right. So yeah, let's just leave it here. It's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, we get a little bit of a flashback where they're washing some modern parts that everyone recognized and complains about. But it was cool. Some good dialogue with his adopted father, and Clem. That is the name he used in prison, correct?
It's the name he used in Aldani, and no, did he use a different name in prison?
I thought maybe it was
Clem or Kev.
Well, he used Clem in the Aldani mission.
Yeah.
But that's right. On the mission, he used that.
Wasn't
name,
he like Kev or Keeve or I don't know.
Keeve Gargo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like in prison, right? He used a different name.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if that's a name we'll hear, somehow, like if it's a real name he stole.
Yeah. Why do they always start with a K too?
But yeah, I have to move from this perfect photo to the next photo. Because it's such a perfect photo, everyone hit that like button. Just for that reason alone is enough. Andor's sneaking around, and we get the cool, space dogs.
Corellian hounds.
Yeah. So these guys are pretty cool, and he wasn't going to shoot him, although he was going to shoot him. He doesn't hesitate much, I don't think. But so you get to see this the shipyard guy, I guess.
That's
right?
the ship guy, right? Yeah, is it?
Pegla.
That's his name.
Pegla. Yeah.
Pegleg.
So he's cool just because he's got a beard. Otherwise, he's just kind of a throwaway character, really. But he was important in this episode. He's the guy that kind of helps everyone escape on the ship and whatnot, and fuels it or charges up the Tesla battery. Whatever he's got to do, he's getting it done, and he stays behind too. So him and Andor, stay.
Does he give all those ships to the rebellion? I mean, you saw there was a Y-wing in there.
There's a lot of ships there. One looked like it might have been like a ghost.
I think one was the ghost, a ghost type ship. Yeah.
I saw you guys going back and forth about that. I couldn't make it out. I didn't pause on that.
It wasn't the ghost, but it was a ship that was like it.
Similar.
Because the two engines were on the back on the top there, in between, and they were on either side of the docking port where the little shuttle would go in. Yeah. And then it had that front end, and I was like, and then the tapered sides. I'm like, this looks like a lot like the Ghost. It wasn't perfect, but I think it was a similar class.
I guess 3 episodes and the prison episodes, that little arc had some of the great dialogue and stuff that we've been talking about over the past few weeks. And then this episode, it had some of it. It had this from the document, not called the document,
manifesto.
The manifesto.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that was cool.
It was a good 1 minute, 2 minutes of dialogue. He kept saying try. A couple of really good lines in that about evil doesn't have to try to. I didn't write this down because I didn't want to be dwelling on the lines, but there's some really good lines here that is for Andor.
Did it give you the impression that he had listened to this a couple times?
Yes,
it's possible.
100%.
Yeah, right.
He's getting pumped up, and this is more than anything. This is reassuring him of what he's about to do, and whatnot.
It wasn't like it was written for Andor. Like it's talking to him directly, not to other people. But of course, it's meant for others to.
It's for Nemec wrote it for people who were more skeptical about joining the rebellion. That was his call to action, his recruitment kind of speech and whatnot. And you see, I'm not sure if you got a picture of it, but Cassian looking off into the skyline. That he exits. This was Marva's and Clem's ship that they took him off on, where he's
Space Winnebago.
Hiding out. And he's definitely when you see him being done listening to that, I have to imagine that's not the first time he's listened to Nemec's manifesto, and you see him
and I hope we hear some more of it too, because he's got a very pleasant voice to listen to be honest. I liked his character. He was very soft spoken.
I enjoyed it.
But he sounded good. Passionate.
That would be a really good little booklet to have. Nemec's manifesto is some product that they actually sell and make an audio book out of it with the guy.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Recite that'd be pretty cool.
You know what they could do? They could even make a little app for your phone so that the little Arabish text would come up while you hear the sound. It could look like that screen that he had.
We'll trademark that now.
There you go. We're gonna build it. Let's make it.
As much as I love this show, it doesn't seem to be very heavy on the merchandise kind of stuff. It's cool. It would be the first Star Wars ever that's not. The marketing, I think there was a lot of marketing. You mentioned marketing, like the advertising, the trailers, the promos, all the setups, the throwing the first 2 episodes on ABC or Hulu, whatever they did the other day. Again, that's just pushing people. Let's now go spend your $8 or $10 and go watch the rest of the series on pay-per-view, Disney Plus. And that costs a lot of money. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of toys and merchandise and costumes, and which is cool. I'm totally okay with that, because as we're kind of calling this as more of an adult style drama TV show of Star Wars. It's not, apparently it's, from what I'm seeing, And I know, Eric, you're in that crew of 20 to 30 something year olds, but the younger crew who love the episode 1, 2, and 3, that's their Star Wars. They seem to be the generation that don't love this show as much as I do. Like, but I know you appreciate it. So what the little bit of hate I'm seeing, they all seem to be 20 to 30-year-olds, or they're just hardcore fandom menace people.
Well,
They hated it before they even showed the logo and stuff.
My mom has liked all Star Wars, but the this and Rogue One she was okay with, but this especially she's like, I have no interest because I don't care about this character. She likes Luke Skywalker, Han Solo. She likes the prequels because she liked Liam Neeson and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. Like, to her, those characters are Star Wars. So when it deviates too far, she's like, I'm not watching Star Wars anymore because where's Luke Skywalker? What's he doing during this? So she wants to see them, some hints to them or something with them on every Star Wars story. So she stopped watching this after 3 episodes.
Where's
and I asked if she wanted to catch up.
No,
I asked if she wanted to catch up with us because Mark and I were going to watch. We watched it over Thanksgiving, and she was like, "I have no interest. I don't care about this character." So,
what's your brother think of the show?
Oh, he loved it. Yeah, no, he loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I was telling Eric I want to watch them in an 8-hour dump now, or however many hours it's going to be.
Eric was going to say something too about the
It'll take a long time to watch this all in one dump, though.
Yeah.
Did I interrupt you, Eric? Oh, you're muted. Oh, he might be doing some plumbing stuff.
Oh, was he checking the plumbing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
No, I was screwing around on my phone. I was gonna try and show the Play Disney app that I was calling out with the Arabesh translator.
Oh, okay. I
thought
something that existed.
But if you download that, there's a data pad section where you can type in whatever Arabesh characters and it will translate it. It would be nice if you could take a picture of something and have it OCR and translation for you, but it's not that fancy.
Wait, I'm just gonna go trademark that right now. But isn't there a thing with the Disney parks where you can mod your iPhones to look like they're a cool pad and stuff?
Yeah, they have screen cases that basically do that.
Yeah, I remember in the park, people making their own, like customizing, because there's a lot of people doing that stuff now, right?
But if you're in the park, you can actually scan things throughout the park. There's little spots where you hold your camera up and it'll they did that for like a lot of the games that they have a whole bunch of that for just like anyone, but there are certain things that are only integrated with like the Galactic Star Cruiser experience.
Okay.
So there are like specific missions for scanning certain things, and it's basically solving a whole bunch of like shape type puzzles and like cognitive kind of
some of them
like puzzles and whatnot. But
some of them in the park are there. This kind of gives you something to do while you're in line, because there's a lot of them in line to scan.
There's a lot of lines.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I really do dig these hover tank things. I don't know
from Force Awakens.
But make this for Kenner Retro Collection, please. Thank you very much.
I have one already. I got the deleted scene Force Awakens toy.
Is that did they make a toy?
Yeah.
For this.
For this hover tank?
There's
that was the snow tank, right?
Yeah, it was a snow tank, but it was very similar. It's not exactly the same, but yeah.
And then here's a chauffeur guy going and finking on Mothma. So yeah.
Oh yeah, the driver. Yeah.
It was a quick scene, but the guy's like, oh okay, so they're making their own nonsense of the nonsense and being drawn.
They bought it.
Do you think this guy set up the driver with Mon Mothma? Like he's the one in charge of the espionage, like to spy on Mon Mothma?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he kind of, in a way, got demoted too, right? So, he's
Deidre
kind of took over his work, and he's working on office stuff,
But they said that Mon Mothma is of great interest, and having Karen dig himself a hole would be beneficial to them.
That's
to
exactly what he said.
right.
Yeah. So we get a cool scene with Deidre and her superior, both looking down at the screens. But then we get the perspective of what you would see if you were the screen, and I just thought that was cool.
Yep.
Like,
But
we find out that mission worked, and they're all dead, and there's no prisoners. So we don't get to see that scene. But
oh, go ahead, John.
I was going to say I had another question too with this wall behind him. Is that I thought at first it might have been a battlefield map, but it doesn't really change, right? So what is this supposed to like? It looks like topographical, and then there's battle spots, like red spots of interest or whatever you want to call it. Like you would be planning like we're going to hit them here, we're going to hit them here. But did it change from the last time? I don't think so.
I don't think so, but it looked static in the shot from what I remember. But I mean, unless someone from Star Wars comes out and explains what that is, the way I would interpret that is not like a topographical kind of map of like a planet, but more the lines being hyperspace lanes and indicative of like systems of interest and where they've seen like the red circles are like where they've had like more concentrated rebel activity or whatever the case may be. That's how I would read into it, but who knows? It could just be like weird background.
Yeah, or
stuff,
I just thought was it a weird wallpaper pattern? Like, I don't know.
But
you can buy that wallpaper at Regal Robots starting tomorrow.
I was like, am I just reading too much into a wallpaper pattern? I don't know.
Maybe.
And I said
the pattern means something in Star Wars. Like we'll see it again.
The one key takeaway from this that I got was at least Partagas, this guy, and Dedra know that Krieger wasn't Axis.
Yes, they did realize that.
But Partagas was saying to Dedra, just go find Axis. We need to close the book on Aldhani to satisfy the Emperor and whatnot. So I think I think publicly they're saying Krieger was the guy behind Aldhani, even though he wasn't. But they're behind the scenes. They're really pursuing things.
Well, and they said that the reason they killed everybody too, and because she's like a live prisoner, would have been more useful. And he's like, well, the Emperor just wants to close the book. Yes. The Emperor wants it to be done. So they just eradicate everybody and close the book, The case is closed. Just get rid of it, Yeah,
it was a short but sweet scene. Like it seemed like there was a little bit hectic in there and, lots of updates coming in frantically. But, we're just led to believe, shitstorms starting to begin. And, but they're on top of it, as they kind of think.
Well, and it did, again, it's what Luthen and Saw said when they were talking. They're like, well, if we let this happen, the Empire's going to be overconfident. Think they've got this thing handled. They can close anything that sparks up. They can shut down, and it just makes them like he's like now we're free to work in the shadows, so they're not going to be looking at us as much. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
The ISB is a bit smarter than that.
But I immediately went. This better come with the HasLab. We're getting a little vehicle that comes down a little ramp. I want it.
Yeah. So how cool is it? We get introduced to a cool little speeder, a little silver speeder that Stellan Guard's character.
This will be a HasLab add-on. If we get 10,000 people, you get the ship.
This is a $39.99 US retail ship. If they HasLab it, I will quit collecting all.
Oh, they're HasLabbing this ship. They are
big things. Again, I don't think this will be a merchandise heavy show. Like I do have a feeling though we will get this ship in toy form.
It'll be a HasLab. I'm telling you.
It's not the show. Like how many kids who play with Galaxy of Adventures are watching the Andor show? Like none. Like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 are being forced by their grandpas and stuff. The toys for this would be for us. So I don't see them making thousands and thousands of this vehicle. But I mean,
that's why it'll be a HasLab.
Yeah.
But
HasLab, they need you to buy 10,000 of them, and there's zero chance. If we're not
kids
buying
aren't buying
Rancors, we're not buying
Kids
10,000.
aren't buying HasLab,
but little
though.
kids aren't backing HasLabs. It's us.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, I would back this ship on day one if it's a
Yes.
HasLab, especially if it has all the
ship, and
features.
it'll be $109 then.
If the wings move and the
I'm
hatch
calling it
opens, the rear guns.
$110 US.
No,
Target exclusive Toys R Us in Canada if they don't close down before then.
it'll be a $350 HasLab.
And it's called the Valor or the something.
Fondor. Fondor was the planet that manufactured the ship. I don't think they gave it a
Hello, Gary.
classification. Hey,
but it would be a cool, I guess, what is it called? Micro Galaxy Squadron ship?
Oh, yeah, they'll do
It
that.
would be a cool scale.
And they'll make a Hot Wheels one. They'll do the little Hot Wheels ones and stuff like that. They will.
Yeah, but I honestly think we would have seen it by now. Like,
No,
we've known about this ship for over a year. And that, not the speeder part. They hid that speeder part, this little speeder from us, which is cool.
Well, he was riding on it in a trailer, wasn't he?
No, that was the other one with Andor.
Oh, that was
where
the
he's
other
like
one. Okay.
back with Andor. It was like
they stole a different. They commandeered something else. Yeah.
So I believe this was a surprise, and it was a happy surprise. Yeah. But I didn't get. He put his hood up.
People are saying
to go ride, and I'm like, your hood's not going to stay up while you're riding. It's going to just go off. That's what I was.
It still looks cool.
As a guy who's ridden bicycles and motorcycles,
I'm here, Chris. I'm right here.
Hello, Mr. Chris.
I'm back here.
So yeah, cool ship. Hopefully we see it in some kind of toy form.
Mm-hmm.
Lego.
Oh yeah, they might.
Yeah,
that is kind of weird though. You're right, because Bad Batch 2 stuff is already coming out.
Well, that was supposed to air in.
August,
September.
That got delayed. You're right. Yeah.
That so got delayed. Introduced to the tunnels that Marva had spoke of, and it was kind of, I guess, not obvious, but we kind of knew it was coming. There was a little glimpse in a trailer earlier on, but it was just used for Andor a little bit. He was doing some spying, mostly what I see, and meeting with Big Guy here, and the hug was extra long. Oh, I didn't get the extra hug part, but so this scene was the scene to me that where he kind of relayed some parting messages from his kidnapping mom, Marva, because he kept repeating, she says this and she says this, and it wasn't your fault. It was freaking good, man. It was a good scene. Throughout Andor, I didn't cry once in Andor. It wasn't like Jedi Luke showed up and made me cry tears of joy and stuff. But this was the scene that came closest to me to shedding a tear, was him relaying those messages to Andor, and the one line at the end where, I love you more than anything you could ever do wrong. Something like that was said. And I'm like, oh my God, man. Like, I've never had anyone tell me they love me that much, kind of thing. It was pretty powerful moment, I thought.
Well, it was an interesting way to write that too. Like, people don't say stuff like that often. You know what I mean? So
no, but everything he said, like he said 3 or 4, prominent statements, like you were always right about this.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. I think it was good dialogue is what I'm saying. It was really well written. So I'm just saying it was refreshing to see something written, like a goodbye message that wasn't just, tell him I love him, goodbye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they said it in a clever way,
None of it was his fault. Reassuring him. And the one takeaway I had from that was they also said, Brasso also said, Marva said it, but he'll be an unstoppable force for good.
Yes, that was a good line too.
Hey, Fett. Left for
so dead. I do like the Brasso character. I recommend him highly to join the rebellion.
Yeah, I hope so.
As long as he drop kicks, stomps people and just smashes people with bricks.
So yeah, cool scene. And then Sarge, my other favorite character, he's back.
Why were they trading?
I had this. I wrote this down as a question for you guys and anyone in the chat. Like, what was going on here with trading the caps. That made no sense to me.
I got one. I've seen that pop up lots on the Twitterverse and shit. I think honestly it was just a gesture at first, but then I'm like, okay, they did it so they would easily recognize each other if shit hit the fan, because Buddy is all tailored and matched and his piping is adjusted and he was a little too perfect. Everything matched. And so by him giving him, his hat, it maybe made him not match as much.
I felt like it
was a gesture at first, but I think maybe it was so they could find each other if shit goes crazy.
Well, I thought it made Serial look like more like he belonged in the crowd, but I just wasn't sure, like, if that was
just
a
seemed
planned
weird
thing or if they just were like, because the other guy, if you think about it, the Sarge guy, whatever he is, the big dude we like, he
Linus.
He was kind of like, I got my old hat back.
Linus, yeah.
You know, like this is the hat I should be in, and he's like, I got my old hat back. Like
it was cool. Maybe the director, or the writer, whoever's in charge, we'll dive into this a little bit and tell us exactly what he meant by it.
Yeah,
it was a cool scene. I really like this character, and I'm glad he's still kicking and drinking by the end of the episode, because he's badass, man. He's just him and Hammer Guy brought the hammer today. I almost predicted him to the T, but he disappointed.
I think there was one thing you would have added to the hammer scene.
Yes,
I can predict.
I hope that's a deleted scene that they throw on next week for the making of Andor shows.
I can predict.
It would have been cool to clamp both of them.
Why not?
Clamp the stormtrooper's helmet both sides with two hammers and then kick him off the edge. That would have been.
But about Hammer Guy too, he also started banging the bell early. Like, it's like, okay, who told him
call to action
to it? And so they were obviously the people of Ferrix were organized, but they were organized to start like an hour before they told the Empire they're going to start.
And more than 30 people showed up, or whatever they said. Were they 30 or 40 people, or all they were allowed? That was the whole damn town. I'm sorry, that wasn't 30 or 40 people.
They said they were granted 30, and then they fought back and they caved and gave them 40.
Yeah.
So Axis makes his appearance, and I think he's talking to Val here. Well, she's sipping on her Lipton iced tea glass bottle from the local Starbucks or whatever. So that pulled me out of the Star Wars universe for a second, but then they didn't show the glass bottle anymore, and I was back in Star Wars land again. But so interesting that he's right down in the streets, like, where do we got to go? Where's Andor going to be? And if they catch him, they're going to take him to the hotel. So he's like, okay, to the hotel. Like, so it's obvious he is there to kill Andor. She is there to kill Andor. Her partner is there to kill Andor. Like, there's no other reason for these three people to be there is to kill Andor. The Imperials are there to capture Andor. They don't want to kill him. They're there to capture him. Deidre made that known. She wants him alive, and I think even
he's not the big fish
too. Yeah. Well, because they want to get that info out of him about this guy.
Which is why these guys want him dead. Yeah.
So I'm not loving the Val character. I still think she's going to end up being a traitor or something in the end. And I thought it for a minute earlier when she was having that moment with her girlfriend and she's like, step away from the window. I thought she was going to shoot her right there. I got that feeling. So I think the writer wants us to feel there might be some tension between that couple. It's interesting. Nonetheless, we'll see them both again in the season 2.
Yeah, Chris, I have no problem with all this. You're right. I have no problem with anything. You're right.
No, and Chris, what I've learned over the past 2 weeks watching some shows about how they made these sand trooper backpacks is, these are made of frickin' Tupperware. Like, these are actual Tupperware lids and bowls and stuff. Yeah. And I love that these guys, the guys even across the hallway, are wearing, these
they're basically sand trooper backpacks. Totally
badass.
It's even got a CB radio on the back, just like you had in the old cars.
Man. I was very happy. Yeah, the cable here and
the old cars had those. Breaker 1-9 coming down at you, hog tie.
And then down here in the hallway, I believe that's Batman.
Yeah, that's Batman.
It's totally Batman. You can see the ears.
Yeah.
So Batman is now canon in Star Wars.
And GoBots are canon in Marvel.
And GoBots are now canon in the MCU.
Yeah. Well, Batman's canon in the MCU as well.
But that's totally Batman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the pointy ears.
Lurking in the shadows.
I love these backpacks. Just badass. One of the cooler Star Warsy things in this episode.
The other little background thing I liked was when they walked by the droid shop. When the two guys were talking
quickly.
There were all those droids outside. There were all those weird droids outside the droid repair shop, and I was like,
I couldn't get a good screenshot because there's like feet in the way.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. It was probably just cardboard cutouts of droids, and they didn't want us to get a good scene of it. But
yeah.
Here is the MVP of the whole Andor episode, season 1. We call him Hammer Guy. Because there is a hammerhead.
Well, he is wearing hammer pants, isn't he?
Hammer guy. Yeah, he's got the hammer pants.
Parachute pants.
Yeah.
But yeah, he starts playing the music a little early. A little surprise. And then we got, I don't know, Earth flutes, which is kind of weird. And
with space things.
And Civil War era kind of hats. So, I don't know. A couple of things in this series were not Star Wars-y for me, but I'm letting them slide. Except for the damn lawn chairs. I can't let those go.
I mean, half that coat is very Rebel Pilot, don't you think? I mean,
yeah, again, I do really love the costumes.
Yeah.
And what I did notice is one group, like the flute playing group, was wearing yellow. And then the other, the kind of horns troop and the drums were wearing like more of a red. And they were, I do have a couple of pictures that they were marching down the streets. And Santa.
Oh, this kind, this stuff, yeah.
In Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in red, like the sisters of Ferrix.
Daughters of Ferrix. Yeah, I think the colors were. I think they were trying to show that there were different kind of social clubs and local organizations.
Well, it's kind of like the American Legion and the Moose Club here. You know what I mean? You
right.
Those,
yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was just
they all wear their honor guard outfits when they do a parade or whatever.
But yeah, this guy looks Star Warsy enough, except for the Civil War hat he's wearing. Like, I don't know.
No, that's not his hair.
Stuff, and
I thought it was a poker hat, and his hair was on top.
It almost covered his eyes later on as he was fighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this.
But is that? Did you notice to the left of him? Did you notice? Was that Kermit the Frog to the left of him back there?
Maybe.
Way in the back, the green with the big gaping mouth.
It does look kind of green.
Looks like Kermit, and then the person on the right is wearing an orange winter hat from Target.
So I didn't get like all the screen grabs I wanted because I didn't want to like fill the show with screen grabs, but there was a Garindan like snoot.
Oh yeah, that
got trampled and dragged, and so
they kidnapped him. They kidnapped him.
They pulled him through the line.
Short, goggly-eyed, Jawa-sized alien was the other kind of alien. There's also one guy. He was human, but he did have like pink tentacles coming out of his head. So he was obviously an extra from the Star Trek shoot the day before, and
or the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Yeah, like he was on the other set from.
Yeah. I like weird. Chris. Them speaking English in Star Wars throws me out every time.
It's not English though. It's not English though. It's basic.
It's basic.
Yeah, they're
basic. Well, I thought this was a cool scene where we do see like the yellow, band and the red band. So like, no gangs, but some kind of faction. Maybe the workers and the stay home body people. I'm not too sure, but
I think the best way of putting it is pretty much just how John did with the different kind of social clubs and like in the areas. So.
Yeah, it was cool to see because then you see, like you were saying, there's more than 30 of them. And yes, there's bricks in Star Wars. Bricks.
I don't know why people would have a problem with bricks because it's like every culture in the world makes bricks to build things out of. It's a basic building element. You know what I mean?
base on Yavin 4.
Yeah,
The Masasi Temple.
yeah.
Those big giant stone bricks.
Blocks. Yeah, yeah.
So Andor's doing some spying.
Notice his
Everyone's doing some
roofing.
spying, but he's found.
Plus, I mean, in the real world, wasn't that already? Didn't they build the set around existing buildings in a town that was?
I don't know about this one.
No?
I'm not sure how much of it was just.
I thought some of it was already there, and
I think
they
they
added
on like a blank lot, like they built it.
Did they? Did they purpose build all of it?
I think there's trees in the area from some of the pictures I remember seeing, but yeah, so we get to see the little viewfinder image, which I appreciate little things like this.
I loved it. Yeah,
but his disguise suck. Like that's not a very good disguise, is it? You could do better than that. But there's again that shape that.
Well, this is a 6-sided
hexagon.
But this is the shape that we've been seeing through everything in this frickin' series. Everything is this shape, like including the bricks that they're cremated into, so to speak.
Well, this became a weapon. This wasn't a brick. This became a weapon. He was beating people up with it.
So that, to me, that's Marva. Marva kicked a little bit of ass as the brick. She took out a couple of people, and I think I got a picture of the helmet being smacked off the one trooper guy. Cool little shot of Emo before he begins hologramming. Deidre, searching for Andor, obviously with the two a little shorter than normal death troopers.
Because Nerchi told him where he saw Cassian come out of. Yeah.
What I like about stuff like this is that, like, look at the pipes in the background. That was very Tatooine. That was very like old Star Wars, where they just a random pipe going up the side of a building and into whatever else is going into that unit there. And then the Star Wars like boxes thrown around, and then this thing on the right side of the screen, you see these tubes full of something or other. And I mean, even that was in the ship. The blockade runner ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like these Star Wars boxes. These are literally milk crates. Like they're
literally
milk, which is cool because they got blue milk in Star Wars. So,
but what I mean is, like, whenever you see these pipes and all these things, to me, that's Star Wars elements. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I like this kind of stuff. Even
Chris is right. Marva is now a Rock Lord. So Rock Lords are canon in Star Wars, and GoBots are canon in the MCU.
In the MCU, yeah.
But yeah, I do. That's why I like the cinematography of this. Like they make sure you get that pipe in that shot, and
yeah. They killed
very
my
cool,
parents. Man. I hate GoBots.
I really like this. Like it was the first time we've seen like a big hologram. I guess like that I've seen in live action.
Snoke.
He did this.
Yeah, you saw the big hologram in Force Awakens,
and Saw Gerrera technically did it in the cartoon, but it wasn't the same way he did it in Rebels. The cartoon, he
very very powerful.
He projects out of an astromech his big head.
But
that was in a cartoon. It wasn't live action.
You can see, there's not thousands of people there, but there's a couple hundred. We'll call it. Maybe
I was kind of wondering how they
50 Imperial guys.
How those guys in the black uniforms lived through those explosions. I was like, come on.
I don't think they all did. That explosion took out a lot of people.
They got up.
That's why I think the war ended so quickly without us kind of knowing.
They showed them getting up, though.
Hello, Cat. Yeah, some did. That guy who finked on Andor, he didn't get up.
He was down for the count.
Yeah. Those guys that are in the building didn't get up. Yeah, but some of the guys on the street right next to it did.
Yeah,
somehow.
So big props to this actress.
I loved this scene. This was fantastic.
Small role overall, but and all the dialogue she had, mostly with Andor, and then this even just a speech, was fantastic, man. It's good. It's good Star Wars. It's good. Propaganda, if that's the I know it's not propaganda, but it is
a rally cry. It's a
rally cry. That speech that Serial couldn't give to his men when he was a security bureau guy, but the Sarge kind of did, right? Like it was that little bit of oomph, and it was much needed, and it worked. Like it the people where you can see they're getting intense. I still don't know if it was all planned or not, but I think it kind of was planned.
Well, at least a few people had a plan to do something.
One young kid with a bomb, he had a plan. This kid here.
Yep.
But maybe the whole town wasn't originally going to get in on it. You know what I mean? But once she gave the speech, it really riled up more people. You know. And Chris is right. They did Palpatine in Empire Strikes Back with the huge head.
With the big hologram? Okay.
Oh, the monkey eyes.
Yeah.
So we get a little creature guy. And this, you know, his eyes are all watery. Like, you know, my eyes were watery too, but I didn't shed a tear.
See, the other thing too is, like, did he originally intend just to, like, run up and take himself out with a bunch of the Imperials? But once the crowd was, like, behind it, he's like, I'll just throw this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think it was 100% planned. I think all these
because, like,
people were planning this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say, like, maybe it wasn't planned by the entire town. They weren't all. I don't think it was. They weren't all going to kick off and beat up the Empire. I think they were just going to try and stand as one and show their solidarity.
Like, they're going to bang people with their flutes. Like, hey, I'm just in the band. I'm not here to fight. Like,
yeah, but the speech riled everybody up into action more so than they would have on their own.
The speech, and then this guy kicking over B2.
Yeah. He kicked the droid. Like, what are you doing?
That's the hanging dude. Like, this guy's like looking at the hologram, and this guy's like, "Oh, stop it! It's too much." Freaking guy, fuck this guy. This guy sucks, and he's still alive. Sadly,
I know. Why did they beat him to death? They should have beat him into pulp there. I don't know.
Next scene, they tried. It's like,
Brasso, this is like a wrestling move.
And I think Santa's like in every screenshot I got. Like, they use
you're right there.
Him and his beard.
No, that's Rex. That's Rex.
Yeah, it's Rex. It could be
Rex. Everyone will start saying it's Rex.
But yeah, so I guess this is the rebellion officially beginning with this kick to the sternum of this ass face guy.
I mean, look at that. They're just beating people down. Yeah.
There's lots of big guys there too. A lot of those guys were big.
Yeah.
So yeah, a couple of shots of that. So the action's going down.
She silently stabs the dude, gets rid of their spy.
Just knifed the dude. Like, it was a creepy little scene.
And it was very Mission Impossible. Remember the first Mission Impossible movie where they went in the alley and stabbed the person, the spy?
Yeah, it's very stabby. We don't see a lot of stabbing in Star Wars, and this is like, it's outright murder. Like, she just murdered this guy with a knife. It wasn't a vibro knife; it was just a regular knife. And it was pretty cool. The heavy cannons here, up a tank or another tank, and the stormtroopers were not missing many shots. Like,
that guy flew when he hit him with that cannon. That guy just
they showed many people get shot. Many people took lasers and cannons to the head and to the belly. Like, it was the battle was on, and then boom, she gets like a brick to the head or something.
Yeah, it was a rock or something, right? She got hit by something, right?
She's still pretty though, even though she looks.
That's a good screenshot.
Still wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers.
Hey, White Shadow, Invader's girl, Kat, how you doing?
Welcome. Yes.
Hey, everyone.
So she got smashed. Bix gets rescued throughout. You know, as soon as all these explosions happened, everything, like, it was a big explosion because windows broke in the prison, windows broke in, like, you know, the hotel and other kind of areas of the town. So it was big.
Did you get the idea that, because, like, he went in that tunnel under the tower one, and the tunnel took him, like a underground tunnel took him to the where she was captured, right? Where she was being held. Yeah. So do you think there's a whole underground network of tunnels that go to most of the buildings in the town?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we'll ever find out now. Like,
but it was just an interesting idea. I thought that
I guess it could kind of be like
almost like a little sewer system, right? Because I guess if you go under New York City and those, it's kind of all connected, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
More of those crazy bricks.
Yeah. You saw after the bomb was thrown, you saw Cyril rush in, to save Dedra, and you saw
it was like he saw
Vel
the bomb
Russian.
being thrown and like, oh damn.
Yeah.
But you also saw Vel Russian, but don't really know what she was doing after that. But
She went into smoke.
You don't really know what happened to Val and her girlfriend.
Yeah, true. They didn't actually show them again. So maybe
are they all planning on meeting up back at his ship and they just didn't show that yet?
Maybe Val's girlfriend Cinta did die in that explosion, because we're thinking they're all meant to be close to that hotel as Axis kind of asks them to be, right? No, they do show Cinta again because her and Val meet up, and she's like, "You got blood on your hands." So don't think they perish. But
they don't meet up with Luthen.
Yeah, they don't meet up with Luthen. I just meant like, how did they get off the planet if they don't meet up with Luthen? But I guess there's nothing that says that Val came with Luthen, though, right? No, she didn't. Yeah, she could have taken her own ship. Okay, yeah. So
the one thing I was, really, really, really disappointed in is Hammer Guy did not hammer him with the damn hammer.
And there's no Wilhelm scream. Where was your Wilhelm scream?
I don't think there was a single one. Was there?
This was the perfect Wilhelm. Yeah.
But it would have been cool to do like both of the hammers on both sides of the Stormtrooper helmet, crush it like the ATST in Return of the Jedi, the logs, and then kick them.
There you go.
Good opportunity missed, Star Wars. Come on. But it was cool. Like and like literally this Stormtrooper, I believe, climbed up like the side of a brick tower. Like I didn't see any ladders.
There were stairs. There were stairs. Yeah, he came up the stairwell. Yeah,
because he took the short way down. But yeah, good for Hammer Guy. Now bring on the Retro Collection action figure, please. All right, next. There we go.
He's pushing
Cyril.
Yeah, so here's Cyril. He picked up her gun because she lost her gun while everyone was stepping on her, and it looked like they're gonna rape her and shit. It didn't look good, and she was panicking. Like,
she was
good
clearly
actress. Hats off to this lady for making this character someone that we are interested in, whether we like her or not. She's a very talented actress, and she was shitting her pants in this alley here where everyone was wondering if they're gonna, do a little tonguey action here, but I didn't see that, man. I saw like her trembling, like I could see the pee running down her legs. She was scared as shit. Like even after she realized who this was, she was still scared. Like he dragged her in there with a gun. Like she didn't know what was going on. She was about to get trampled on, right?
She was definitely shocked.
It kind of felt like it was her first time in the thick of things.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
something like this at least.
Yeah, like this kind of situation. Yeah.
Because we saw her and Cyril in a previous episode get tense, and she was like, scowling, and you can see like she was like, twitching in her neck, and like, you can't fake that shit. And here she was trembling like she's
never been fearful for her life.
Water that was 30 below zero. Like just how you can do that on call, like action, start trembling. Like I don't know how you can do that, man, but congrats to her for pulling it off. She did a great job as this character, Deidre. I do like Deidre. I hope she gets a cape.
And actually, I mean, Cyril, the actor playing Cyril is doing really good too.
Yeah, I like him too. He's
very. I mean, this was one of like Paul said it earlier. He was like, thank goodness they didn't kiss or whatever. But it really made you think like, oh my gosh, are these two gonna kiss? like it really looked like something was there, and I didn't think of it before. I didn't think like when you guys were saying before, or at least Rick I think said it. Like there might be something between him liking her or whatever. And I was like, I just didn't pick up on it back then. I said, I don't think so. But now I kind of think he does sort of like her.
Well, he does, but not in as creepy of a way as I think everyone else would see his behavior, right? Like in his head, he's not like that.
He's still creepy.
He's still creepy, but like to everyone else, I think people would say like, oh yeah, he's like creepy and like really attracted to Dedra for whatever, and
The
he has
power,
like weird intentions, but like in his head, it's not as much like that. And I think they made the right choice not having for not having them kiss, because he's legitimately trying to help her and whatnot.
No, absolutely, it was the right idea to not do it. You're right.
Yeah,
but,
I heard it
but
several
I don't know. It
people over
just
the past
seemed
2
like
days say they're going to throw the remote at the TV if they did kiss. And there'd be a lot of broken TVs in the world.
There you go. Yeah.
Those guys followed through with their threats. Yeah, it was a tense scene. She was shaking like a freaking trembling. I guess is the word.
Mhm.
So this is
I
a cool scene
love
too,
this
with the war going on in the street. And
Yeah,
he's just kind of watching and bringing us in, like, and he's not part of it though. He did not throw one
No.
stone. He
I
didn't.
don't think he thought it would kick off like this. Because when he got up in the street afterwards, all dusty and covered with stuff, he had a look on his face like, "Holy crap! It really kicked off."
Well, yeah.
And then and he's like,
Melshi that had the recordings. Is that his name? Melshi?
Nemec.
Nemec's from Nemec's dialogue in his manifest. He kind of mentioned, like, again, I didn't take any notes today. I'm going on, strict memory, but he mentioned in 3 or 4 times about smaller little things are happening and little groups and they're all going to add up. And, basically saying, without saying the rebellion has begun, he was kind of saying the rebellion has begun. And I think this is his Luthen's character realizing, like, this is happening, man. Like, the people are,
and he saw
the people are fighting the Empire here.
Luthen. The other important thing is that Luthen, whatever his name there, he saw the speech that riled the town up into action. You know what I mean? So
every character did, which is cool. Like, including Bix in the prison. Deidre and the Imperial forces that were there. They all got to see this until the point where that one guy's like, "Oh shit, she's gonna start a riot. Let's cover up with my."
But I mean, I think it enforces Luthen's idea that, like, more people can be inspired to action.
So I think he was appreciating some of that, sure, but I think that shot was also him just being like, "Oh, like, this is good, but mission failed." Right, like, because right, like, because he was like, I can't be seen around all of this because shit's gonna, like, if this is bad, it's gonna get worse when the Empire really comes with reinforcements. I can't be around. I gotta
I gotta get out of here. Absolutely,
so we do get to see Val and Cinta. Am I getting her name right now?
Yeah.
And
Val and Cinta,
you got blood on your hands, honey. He's like, "Don't worry about it. It's not mine." And then Val's realizing, "Oh shit, she really is badass." Like, I'm assuming she knew she was a badass, but she seemed kind of surprised, to be honest. So she's doing her part for the rebellion. I believe this is Cassian.
I'm counting on you, buddy.
Yep. Having a little bit of dialogue with B2 Emo on this before they leave the school.
They're going to Ganji Moon.
He mentioned the moon, right?
Yeah, the group was Jezzy was the woman who took over from Marva as the president or whatever of the Daughters of Ferrix. There was Brasso, Pax Sun, B2, and Bix was the group on that ship.
Yeah, and the one sister of Ferrix lady, I'm assuming.
Her name was Jezzy.
And I think she was like the mayor of the town, if I'm not mistaken. She was.
I think she was. Yeah, she was the president, the current president of the Daughters of Ferrix. Yeah.
And I didn't write down the line here, but Cassian and B, B's like, "Oh, you're leaving again," and Cassian's like, "Yeah, but you hold the fort." Like, kind of like you always do.
Yeah, watch over him like you always do. Like, I'm counting on you, that I always do. And he says, "But Cassie," and then he's like, "And you always come through for me."
Yes, that's what he said. So, and we get a little smile from Andor, which is kind of cool. I don't think we've seen him smile in 12 episodes.
Well, it's kind of like, to me, I was like, this is very much what you say to a kid when you're going off. Listen, you got to watch over your mom for me, and I'll be gone for a few weeks, but I promise I'll come back. And the kid wants to cry and be like, "But Dad, you're always leaving." And he's like, but then the dad switches it around and goes, I can always count on you to keep your mom safe, and you always come through. So thank you. You know what I mean? And it kind of alleviates that fear of being alone and left again. But Cassian's going to come back and we get that whole crew. But yeah, there's the Y-wing right up front.
Yep.
Yeah, nice cool Y-wing. And even the ship that they leave in, it looks like it's got like those Y-wing kind of.
Yeah, Y-wing engines. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the second ship on the right is not the Ghost, but it's a type of ship.
Similar.
But I don't know what's in the front there. The first ship on the right is a little bit A-wing. It's like wedge shaped. Like that's a cool. Is that a cockpit?
It's not as curved. It's not as curved as an A-wing. The cockpit looks more forward,
and it's bigger. It's bigger.
The A-wing that Andor escapes in, from the concept art.
It's bigger than the A-wing too.
No, I have to assume he leaves with Luthen now.
Yeah, he probably does. Yeah.
But I like this sign. Like I can't wait to see someone make a replica of this sign somehow.
Oh, I love the other font. It's a different Star Warsy font.
Yeah.
But is that another sign in the background, or is that a Corellian Corvette taking off in the dark distance?
No, that looks like the same sign.
It's just another sign. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm stuck on this window here. I don't know how to get off this.
And is that another kind of weird quad jumper type thing there?
Yeah, it kind of looks like it behind the Y-wing.
Behind the Y-wing? Yeah, behind the Y-wing, yeah.
It looks like that, or maybe kind of like Ochi's ship. Something similar to...
Yeah. You're right, yeah. Yeah,
it was just cool to see, like...
these guys, yeah.
Star Warsy stuff. And then we got like the Bride of Frankenstein, or is that...
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Kind of like stereotypical kind of woman in like the East Coast, like New Jersey or whatever, with like, the big hair. Yeah. Big blown out hair.
Bride of Frankenstein is what she looked like originally. So their colors are kind of this teal and gold color. They're family, and then we got Mothma's family is kind of the same colors too. So it's weird that these colors are the same for both these families in a way, and they're
is it something traditional? Is it something to do with like their formal wear or something? Are they from similar places?
They're from the same planet. They're both from Chandrilla. Yeah,
and we see more of that. They're not true octagons or 7-sided shapes. This one's more like a 10-sided shape, but we do get more of that.
Yeah, they're not complete. They're not. It's like they don't have circles in Star Wars.
I guess, but we know they do have circles, though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just.
But I noticed like the jewelry that they're kind of wearing too.
Yeah,
very, not imperial, but military.
It's almost like a family crest or something like that.
Yeah.
But interesting nonetheless, and very, very short but sweet scene. I don't think a word is spoken by anyone.
Yeah, I think it was just to sort of tie up that without having to say anything or have a long scene. You get, you've got the seeds of his gambling problem, giving the Imperials a reason to look the other way for the money. And then this just sort of solidifies how she's going to move money in the future without anyone noticing.
And get more money.
Yeah. And that's it. You didn't have to have a big discussion about it or anything. We get the idea based on 2 short scenes, and they can move on to the more important things in the story, and we're done with that thread, This was good, yeah. But does he become the town? Of this shit. Does he become the town drunk? Is he now the town drunk, and he's going to sit around outside?
Points, if you can remember the name of the booze that they drink in Andor. Remember?
Spelunky. I don't know. Malunky.
Close. It was close to like Spelunky. It was. I can't remember off the top of my head. I thought someone would have known.
Well, I think they had some different drinks. They had drinks in that Morlana 1 planet in the first episode, and then there was the squigs in Coruscant where they put in the worms and whatnot.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was a squig. I can't remember the name. I thought if anyone in the chat.
And then Perrin had some punch that was called out by Tay Kolma.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Luthen, now we're heading to the final scene of season 1 of Andor.
Is
And
it
he's
weird that the
communicating
droid?
with the ship? Okay, let's go cloak mode. And this and
Yep.
no response.
Is
He
it
shouldn't
weird
have
that the
used the
droid
same
didn't
spot.
warn him?
Yeah, he
Well,
parked in the
he
same
was
spot,
disabled.
dumbass.
He was disabled. Yeah, like that for someone as smart as Luthen is, he shouldn't be using the same location, right? That Cassian would know because obviously here he is.
So Cassian disabled the droid. That's what you're saying?
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Because the droid didn't respond. So
Yeah.
Cassian was there and disabled all whatever countermeasures.
He might have just threatened the droid too, like, don't say anything or I'll kill your master.
I'll pull your plug.
Yeah. Pull out your batteries. But very powerful scene. Not a lot of dialogue between the two.
No, it was good though. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Basically, Cassian mentions I'm not
no game.
I'm giving up.
Either kill me,
Or take me in.
or take me in.
With a very long dramatic pause.
Yeah, yeah.
So he basically says, "Kill me," and then 30 seconds go by, or take me in. Which this is the line that the director was saying we'd all go gaga over, and I really dug it, but it didn't make me go all goo goo gaga.
That's why I thought Luther was going to say, "Welcome to the rebellion."
It was cool. It's a very serious moment for the almost clean shaven Andor. I don't know where he has finally time to shave, but then you get this smirk on Luke's face when he's like, "Oh shit, shit's about to get real now." As
Well, I think he looks at it now as in like I've got one of the best assets I can get for this rebellion.
Very much so.
Someone who's like, there's no point in living if I'm not fighting the Empire. That is what things came down to, and those are the type of people Luthen wants to recruit.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad they didn't end it with like something like in Captain America Civil War, where it's like Avengers, Rebellion.
Welcome to the credits roll.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
If there's anyone chatting anything important, I'm sorry, I don't see it. It hasn't refreshed for me in like
10 minutes. It hasn't refreshed in a little. There it goes, real quick. What's up, Nathan Bowden Show?
What's up, everyone? So intense with our wicked, awesome after
or they
show
all left. They all left because we were rambling.
They're shaking so much they're trembling. They can't type on their keyboard fast enough. Any favorite moments from this episode?
The ending,
Brasso.
The end credits scene.
well,
I forgot.
Brasso being a total boss and protecting B2 and smacking the guy with the brick and then kicking him, and same thing with the hammer guy. Yeah,
I'm sure I had a shot of him whacking at one trooper in the helmet with his brick. It knocked his helmet right off. It was pretty.
That was bad. That was badass.
When they panned out on this scene and they showed
Chris
the
working hard.
Yeah, I fell asleep at my desk. And when they panned out, like I was sitting there looking at my brother and his jaw dropped and he went, "No shit," like it was awesome.
Yeah. So I did hear in advance there was a post-credit scene. I did also kind of see in advance screenshots from the post-credit scene, so I did kind of know about it beforehand. It didn't in any way spoil the episode for me. It was
a beautiful way to answer that question. We were all asking earlier in the season, what is this stuff for?
Yeah,
what are they building? We were speculating it was Death Star parts, but we didn't know what.
So I appreciated this scene more than that final line with Andor and Luthen. But I also think the speech from Marva was very powerful and maybe the most powerful moment of the season 1 of Andor. But this post-credit scene was badass. I love post-credit scenes, mid-credit scenes, before
I like
credit
that
scenes.
It throws us back. I just liked that it throws us back to Star Wars again. You know what I mean? You're like, this clearly, it's just, these are the things that I just love about the current Star Wars stuff. I mean, it's like, oh, look at that. That's so awesome.
But again, they started off, we just see this and we're like, oh, what is this? And and then they kind of
pan out, right? They come and go out. Yeah.
My mouse would work properly.
Yeah.
We kind of pan out, and we kind of see these cool spider droids, which are kind of new to me. And we see the parts they're working on. There's 3 arm parts. There's 5 arm parts. And there's the actual part, because they put the 2 3s together, and you get the 6 arm parts.
Yeah, they're gonna plug them in there.
And you keep zooming out, and then there's that pattern that I kind of saw on Mel's shirt.
Yeah.
Which is when I saw that shirt. Again, I hadn't been spoiled or leaked, but when I saw that shirt, I'm like, there's a reason why they're put that pattern on a shirt. It's got to be a reason, and it was. It's literally this exact pattern. And then you keep zooming out, and you see like how small the thing is they're working on, but we know how big that piece was. It took 5 guys to kind of carry it, right?
Yeah.
And then we're zooming out, and now you can't even see it anymore. And it's just part of the dish.
Yeah.
It's the exploded view of the super laser.
And
I really like that. Like, I love, as an artist, a technical artist, I love the technicality of this imagery, how it is like an exploded view from an IKEA cabinet.
Well, it's kind of going to go like ka-choon, 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 ka-choon when they put it together. You know, you can kind of see.
But now we know that the Death Star is from IKEA. They're using the exploded diagrams to build the. But what a cool dynamic shot that is, right?
Oh yeah,
we don't know what planet that is.
Yeah.
Any guesses what planet that might be?
Ilum. I don't know.
No. I think they assemble. I think in the canon they said that there were several kind of planets where they were manufacturing parts, but I'm not sure where like the final assembly was for the Death Star. Maybe they have, and I'm just not.
It has been parked above Alderaan this whole time, and nobody.
No, it's not Alderaan.
But it's somewhere remote enough where people won't notice, and where they don't really need. I mean, maybe you just don't see it on screen, but only 2 TIE fighters patrolling.
Yeah, it was cool to hear those, and then you kind of see them fly by in the background. But
But see, Nathan agrees with me that thing you said, the human with the pink tentacle walked over from the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special set.
Yes, it was the same guy. James Gunn was filming the same day. Happened to be in London.
Yeah, he walked over from the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special set and just went, "I'll be in Star Wars too." Hi.
But it was pretty funny, kind of capping off the entire series that we were talking about many times in the past several weeks. Like what cameos we'd expect, whether it's like Vader or Palpatine or Bail Organa or anyone else, right?
It would have been cool.
But the big cameo was the Death Star.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
it's a good cameo. It's a good cameo.
Inside black hole.
I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed that we didn't get like.
No, it was good.
Walking by, or Darth Vader, or Krennic, or any of those Star Wars, candy or Easter eggs, whatever you want to call them.
12 more episodes.
We got enough. We got enough that, and I'm a Star Wars fucking freak. I'm an OG freak, and I still really, really appreciated the show. So much so, like as far as TV shows go, like I watched a lot of TV in my life. I'm 29 years old, of course. It's a lot of TV watching. But yeah, after Better Call Saul, this is probably my second best TV series that I've seen, and it's only been on for 1 season, and it's only getting 2 seasons, as far as we kind of know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I kind of think now that this season has ended to the show, there's new Bob Iger's back in the Emperor's Throne at Disney. You know what? I bet you that season 2 that we're waiting until 2004 to see, I bet you it comes out in 2023 sometime. I bet you Bob makes some moves and hustles some shit to get moved ahead because hopefully he likes Andor. He sees it's popular for the adult generation that's not the
critics.
And
critics.
But I also think maybe we get other similar Disney Plus shows that are more like this Andor series, whether they're in the same Andor universe or there are other characters, new characters, Filoni characters, Favreau characters, where it gets a little bit more dramatic like this, and maybe we do see a little less droids and aliens, but we get writing and cool, dialogue and stuff.
I think the big tell for that will be if Andor does well, like on the awards circuit and whatnot, and wins like various awards and gets all the.
That would be a disaster.
Like, what would be
if Disney got sold to Apple? That would ruin. Marvel would go downhill. Star Wars would be dead. Yeah.
There's an 80% chance it will happen too, and it
would absolutely ruin all of our franchises. Would go to shit.
No, they wouldn't have triple the budget now, dude. You don't understand.
No, Apple would want to.
Literally the biggest company on the planet.
Apple would want to be in charge. Apple would want to be in charge. They'd have their own ideas. They'd fire Filoni. They'd fire all those guys and put their own people in there.
I know they don't do that because they bought the Beats by Dre
and let them operate independently.
Apple sticker on it. Like they let it operate.
They don't innovate.
Dr. Dre a couple of dollars.
Apple doesn't innovate. They've had
one of the richest men in North America, like overnight, selling Beats by Dre, which he bought from someone else, to Apple for billions of dollars. Billions.
Yeah.
So I like Bob Iger. I know Bob Iger is a Star Wars fan. He built freaking Star Wars land. He bought Star Wars. Like he bought Lucasfilm. It was his
and
signing on the paper that happened, not shareholders voting. It was kind of his call. So I like him. He's done a lot for Star Wars, even though it's the new era of Star Wars since Disney owns the Lucasfilm. I don't think anything bad will happen now that he's in charge. Like Chris and John, you mentioned Apple. Rumors are Apple is looking to buy Disney. Like the fact that something or some entity on the planet could buy Disney, like with cash and not like share options or Bitcoins or fake, like actual cash. Like here's a bucket of money for $12 billion, or
I just see Disney. Okay, I look at companies because we do stock market stuff. My dad and I all the time. My dad does it all day, and we look at companies, and there are certain companies that innovate, and certain companies that have a revelation once in a while, but then they stop innovating. And Apple, it does not innovate that often. Where Disney has been an innovator constantly, over and over in their career as a company, they have reinvented themselves. They innovate. They bring in new technology.
Invented or reinvented, or because I can't think of anything.
All of their rides and their stuff at these Disney worlds and parks, like they're the first.
It's all made by Apple.
They're the first ones to put in holograms. They're the first ones to. They really innovate with their rides and how they do things to make people have fun at the parks. Where I've been using this phone since the iPhone 5 came out. They have not innovated this phone. They've changed the camera. They've changed the size. They made a new glass screen. But why don't I have a foldable screen? Why doesn't this roll up in my pocket? Why don't I have something more futuristic than the same thing I had since 20 years ago? They haven't innovated.
But it's not because they can't though, John. They're choosing
saving it
because it yields a higher return for them to release.
But that's what I mean.
More incrementally.
So they're not going to let Star Wars innovate and do anything new because they're going to feed off we're just going to buy it if it doesn't matter. Turn out the same old thing. It doesn't matter. We're going to buy it.
I disagree. All the people that manage companies and departments, they still manage their companies and departments. They have a higher up that signs the paycheck, but they don't tell them how the world spins, or like
they can if they want
vote or disagree. It's kind of their intent. Like Kathleen Kennedy still runs Lucasfilm, so she makes the call if there is an Andor 3, or if there is Rogue One part. If she makes that, it's her call. She has other subordinates under her, and different people, president, vice president, Lucasfilm, people like that. Filoni, Favreau. There's lots of other people involved now. Bob Iger now, who is probably be the only person Kathleen Kennedy would answer or report to, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say there might be a head of. I want to say that I'm not sure if she reports directly to the CEO of Disney now
or his secretary. Or, you know what I mean?
Well, I think there might be like a head of film or whatnot. That I don't know the reporting structure, but
yeah.
Amazon
time will,
also just giant, just too giant.
Time will tell how things happen.
You really can't predict.
Really,
the thing is, you just can't really predict how people are going to do things or what they're going to do.
I just want to point out, we're only doing this show today because of Apple. So I am personally on an Apple computer. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have webcams or any kind of cameras on phones if it wasn't for Apple. We wouldn't have computer animation if it wasn't for Apple. We wouldn't have Pixar. You wouldn't have Minions. You wouldn't have.
Well, Pixar was Lucasfilm.
You wouldn't.
That goes back to George Lucas.
You wouldn't have Industrial Lights and Magic. You wouldn't have Photoshop, Illustrator. Like Photoshop was invented by an ILM freaking guy from Star Wars. Like, and he still profits off it. Like 50 years later, 40 years later. Apple is one of the most powerful companies in the world, whether you agree or not. Like, it's probably a freaking Apple iPhone that will, start World War VI or whatever silly stuff like that. Like
Skynet. So
I don't think it would any way hurt the Disney brand or the Marvel brand or Harry Potter or whatever brands they own. It could only. Like Star Wars is only alive today because Disney bought it. If Disney didn't buy it, we wouldn't be here today talking about Andor season 1 and when season 2. There'd be no more Star Wars. There wouldn't be cartoons.
To me, the bigger concern is more around like, what does that mean with like would the government even allow that?
Or, would they even allow that? Yeah.
Or how many antitrust laws does that violate?
That would basically mean that you have two companies, Apple and Amazon, owning everything.
They already kind of do.
Where now at least you got three. We've got Disney, Apple, and Amazon. And Google. Sorry, there's four. There's four companies that own everything right now. If Disney got bought out by Apple or Amazon or Google, you'd only have three companies owning everything. So it is kind of
If you don't mind taking things back.
Like the Empire.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Taking things back to Andor for a second.
We got like 6 minutes.
a couple things just wrapping up the first season. That the sister plot was just seemingly abandoned and whatnot. Maybe like I have to imagine we'll circle back on Cassian's sister in the second season.
I hope so. I hope that's not just a lost thread. Yeah.
But that was just like. I can't imagine with how good the writing's been that they would just abandon abandon that completely. But it was like what? But it was almost like they didn't even hint or like mention it again. It was like gone. And then, who is Uncle Harlow?
Yeah,
exactly. Next year or
14
months now.
Yeah, we have to wait.
Do we really have to wait about a year and a half?
2024 sometime. So we have to go over.
Wait that long. I don't want to wait that long. Please come on early.
I agree with this, Chris. I don't think that Apple TV Plus, their streaming platform would change.
They would consolidate.
They would just add a bigger button for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And
it's the same with Hulu because they're working on consolidating Hulu with Disney Plus.
The other rumors that was floating around a few months before the rumors of Apple buying Star Wars were Apple buying Netflix. Like these are big. It wouldn't control the world. It's just a freaking movie rental service. Like who cares if there's 1 or 13 of them? They're all going to share the same content.
Well, they do. The streaming services do eventually have to like merge because people aren't going to buy more than 2 or 3. So
it's getting to a point where
you have to
7 of them now, and there's too many.
Yeah, but you have to be conscious of like when there's consolidation, that's not always in the best interest of the consumer because when there are fewer, they can and there's a monopoly or virtual monopoly they can drive up the prices, and that's why antitrust laws exist.
Exactly.
Vern, are you typing that from your Apple iWatch right now? Folding. Folding is lame. But yeah, Andor.
Yes.
So
I have nothing but the highest hopes for part 2 or any other.
Oh yeah.
We might see from this. Let's call it the Andor verse.
So what do we got next to look forward to, though? What do we got? Does anything start in December? Marvel or Star Wars?
Willow.
Willow's on the 30th. Yeah, Willow's on the 30th.
And then we've got Bad Batch in January. And we've got, I don't know the specific date. And then in February we've got Mando season 3, and then March or May, I can't remember what.
So are they going to overlap, or is that after Bad Batch?
I think Mando season 3 and Bad Batch, I have to imagine, will overlap a little bit.
I don't think we know how many Bad Batch episodes there are. Someone knows, but I don't think I know if it's 12 or 10 half-hour episodes.
And then we've got Visions, and I think the Acolyte comes out late next year.
Okay. Yeah, they're filming Acolyte now, right?
Yeah.
They're also filming Andor now, too.
Yep.
So things that are finished being filmed are the Mando season 3. So it's possible we see a trailer for that Christmas Day or just before Christmas Day. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Bob Iger, now the head Mickey Mouse, head cheese, bumps up the release of Mando to not be in February and to be in December, like it originally was, I think, planned. So don't be surprised if a couple of schedules
get shifted around,
moved forward for our benefits, like our viewing pleasure only, of course. But he's got a job there. He's got to get Disney shares up and blah blah blah, profit and get more people in the parks and more people.
Well, some of the people we know. Some of the people we know at the park that were told that they were being laid off, they were going to lose their job.
They paused that.
They're keeping their job, at least as far as they know right now. So I don't know.
As far as I know, he's a like
he could be changing a lot of things. You don't know.
The Disney community and even just like the big business community. I think he's
he's definitely
well respected. CEO tycoon guy. So he took a break. He handpicked his kind of replacement. Like when you're a CEO, sometimes you have those luxuries, unless you're Steve Jobs and you're fired from being a CEO of the shit you invented, and then you get welcomed back with
welcome back,
and big bags of money many years later. 16 episodes. Wow, that's a lot.
I think that was season 1. So I think
like Jonathan. It's just one 5-minute episode where the Omega gets killed off to upset Rick.
Oh no, we get to see her all grown up eventually.
Omega.
So Jonathan, how many of my predictions my left coast theories were accurate? And
I don't know.
Season
I'm not
1?
sure.
More than a couple. I did want to actually go and take some clips of me doing left coast theories, and then put Jonathan's surprise face over top of it when it was accurate enough to be considered correct. But super happy with Andor episode 1.
Any pieces of merchandise, if you could pick one piece of merchandise that does not yet exist for Andor, what do you want?
I like his blaster that we saw in that final scene, like Andor's blaster.
You want a replica of the blaster?
It's cool.
I was expecting you to say Melchi's shirt.
What flipped around
Melchi's
on
shirt,
the gun?
for sure it's going to happen.
Didn't something flip around on the gun when he activated it? It went like, vroom?
Yeah, I think he was looking to see if it was charged or whatever. Because I think for a second there,
does it fold open
like,
and you put a charge in and it folds back? Is that what happens?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
None of this
because it seemed like something moved on that when he flipped it. It like something moved. I thought that was cool. I thought it was cool.
Jonathan, I believe I said in episode 1 of Andor, everything will go down on Rick's Road. Rick's Road is the
you
most
did say that. Yes, you did.
In all Star Wars history.
Yes, you did say that. Yeah.
When you're done bowing and apologizing, then you can go back and watch that scene again. Rick's Road. It's all about Rick's Road.
Yeah.
Melchi's shirt. I called out Melchi's shirt, and that was bang on.
It's very close, because it was very close to the silver one that Han gave to Rey. They're probably made
looks
by
like Rey's pod racer.
They're probably made by the same company. They're probably made by the same company. Yeah.
John, what about you? Any piece of merchandise you want?
Well, I like the ship. That's all I'm. You know.
You want the
Yeah.
TVC has
The ship was very cool, and the speeder.
I want one that comes with the little speeder. I want the landing hatch to open. I want the wings to move. I want the gun to work on the back that blows out the teleporter.
Needles.
Yeah, the needles. And I want a pop-out gun on the top to shoot, and the little cannons on the side so that the ship can rotate. And just, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to, just have them, in a cockpit to put the guys in. That would be, the bathroom or whatever, wherever he changes. You know,
the closet.
There you go.
I think, just to say something different, because I think, John, I'd agree with you. And I do want Melchi's shirt, but I want Cassian's red jacket. That was
there. You go.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool too.
They might have that at that might show up at Galaxy's Edge sometime. I could see that. You saw that booth with
Columbia
all
will make it.
You saw that booth with all the jackets, the outdoor one.
Jackets and stuff. There was like a vendor selling jackets, right?
Yeah, I could see
they
them
all
doing
got
an
their
Andor
yellow and red
there.
coats somewhere, and their matching hats and boots and stuff. It's pretty cool. Toy wise, the ship, Imperial shuttle. Any excuse to bring out a shuttle Tidarium type vehicle is a good excuse.
Jonathan, I think Eric or
I just
Rick
finally bought myself an Andor.
Brought up the Rebel Spy first. I just agreed with them. I didn't bring that up first. What Jonathan's saying with the Rebel Spy?
Oh yeah, I called up that guy.
What was this?
One of Jonathan Redmond up one, Rick.
Yeah, my mouse is really fucked. Come on, mouse.
Yeah, there you go. I don't think I said it first. I think I agreed with them, but one of these guys said it first. Yeah.
That was actually Rick. That was not me.
Okay, that was a Rick theory. Okay.
I will
I think we just agreed with it, but that was yeah.
Well, I think Rick saw some screenshot somewhere, and that's what I was.
Well, like I said, I paid attention to all the trailers we got.
Yeah.
I do watch and subscribe to Jason at MakingStarWars.net.
Yeah.
And the only spoiler kind of thing I got from him was he showed a picture of Marva as a hologram. Like he just quickly found it on Reddit or something. And I'm like, okay, well, she's still dead. Like it didn't spoil to me like she was alive. So I didn't get much out of that. But I appreciate him and the streams he does where he, sometimes he talks cool stuff that you might want to know, but never does he just throw out the stupid spoilers that ruin the whole show or nothing. It's all in good fun, man. And a lot of the time it's just telling jokes with Star Wars Santa and Star Wars Meg and the other people he has jump on his streams. It's pretty fun, man. That's why I enjoy doing this show. Like I originally started doing an after show at 1 a.m, season 1 and season 2 of Mando, and I got all the people from Australia.
I'm not up that early, man. I'm not awake that early.
This was fun though. I'm happy to have done this.
So wait, 3 Men.
Yes, those flasks are cool. I saw guys talking about it last night.
3 Men doesn't come on until 5. We got 2 hours still. Okay.
Anyone
pick up anything this week? We can go on the fun stuff. And did you all watch the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
Yes,
I watched it last night.
I recommend the holiday special. I loved it.
Yeah, those are wicked, Eric.
Yeah, these
we
came
didn't see
from
any
Target.
type troopers in this episode.
Yeah, the short troopers.
Is that the black? Is that the black outfit trooper with the helmet then?
This is the one. These were the Target exclusives. They just came like 10 minutes before the stream started.
Yeah.
They look really good. Yeah, I got Andor in my big birthday weekend toy show haul. Just because I never had them before. Disney Toy Box, Mando. Love these toys.
Oh, look at that. My Mindbender's on the way.
Yeah.
Mindbender's on the way. I didn't get him yet, but he said they said it shipped. So.
Yeah, I watched you playing with your Serpentor there, Super John.
What's that?
Yep. It was a good video.
Playing with your Snake Man.
Oh, yeah.
The other day.
Jonathan's calling shenanigans.
Did they leave Solo's head on which figure?
The Mud Trooper one.
Because it was the Mud Trooper without the mask.
Oh.
Anyway, It's got Veer's armor, chest armor.
No,
But it's a
that doesn't.
different head
That
sculpt, right?
that doesn't look like. That's not the same head sculpt.
It looks like Kylo Ren squished.
Looks like some guy.
It looks like they squished Kylo Ren.
It's definitely a big schnoz. I'll tell you that much. Here's the
Oh yeah,
character portrait.
Have you watched that yet, Chris? I know it's on. I haven't dove in. I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
weekly, right?
I actually wanted to
We'll
talk.
watch it.
I actually got to talk to Chris about this because I thought we could have a Wednesday live stream and talk about it after we both watch it.
Is it a weekly episode drop or did they drop?
No, I think they dropped it all. I think
they did, eh?
My mom binge watched that one. She loved it. She thought that it was great. So she sat there all day Friday binge watching it.
No, that'll be the deluxe release of this figure.
It
They'll
does not,
release
Jonathan.
next week.
It should have. There was no excuse that
Yeah, that's
they didn't
true.
include that because they included the riot shield with the Jedi Survivor scout.
Yeah.
And there was another figure that came with a shield, and I can't remember.
Yeah, they could have actually just reused it. It did because they could just paint it different, right? And make it work.
I'm not sure if it was a bit larger though, like from your feet to your head.
Okay.
I can't remember. We'd have to go back to the screenshots of the show, but
I still have to start Wednesday, but I'm looking forward to watching it. I haven't started yet, but I'm looking forward to watching it.
Oh, now I'm cluing into what Chris was talking about. Chris sent a message on Twitter saying he hadn't watched all of Andor, and then he said something. I was going to watch it Thursday, but I watched Wednesday instead. So he wasn't literally meaning he watched Andor on Wednesday.
No. It's the new show. Adam's
Have you actually
show.
not watched all of Andor? Yeah. I'm sorry, man, if I spoiled it for you. I totally thought you did that.
He knows that we're spoiling it. Don't worry.
No shield, no buy.
Yeah.
3D print a shield.
Matt would make one. Matt, you're going to make one, Matt.
You can make one out of a napkin and 3 straws and a fork from
Yeah.
I think I saw online that people were making.
Yes, I saw guys last night who were already 3D printing the 2 different types of shields.
It's still
what
very.
I figured out is there was one shield that had like a window in it.
Yeah.
And then there was one shield that had like a really big window in it. But then later in the fight, those windows had got knocked out. So it was just a shield with nothing there. And I'm like, is that a third different shield? No, it was broken. It got broken during the skirmish, which means it's a real shitty shield.
I feel like there have been other action figures from like military lines and police lines that have a very similar looking riot shield, and you could easily modify. I think you could find some of that stuff and easily modify it to make it work.
Yeah, I've been.
Oh, it was the First Order Stormtrooper, the riot trooper that had.
Oh yeah, he had a white.
Oh yeah, that one was little though. That was smaller though.
But I think that's the same size as the one that came out with the recent Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of different ones. But yeah, toy wise, like I'm not. It's not a series I'm really toy excited for. Like again, Luthen ship was fucking cool. Seeing any kind of stormtrooper, like hell, release stormtroopers again. I'll buy them.
They didn't do a Zero figure. Yeah,
I just want some retro ones. I want Kenner style.
I don't need Black Series,
no,
or Hammer Guy, but all in retro. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Every character in that episode in retro. Why not? Deidre with a cape. She needs a cape just to look more regal.
But they didn't do a Deidre.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm very happy with the episode. I guess, like we were saying, the next big live action Star Wars wise will be Mandalorian, which we're told is February or after Christmas sometime. So I would like to do the Mando after show again. You both are of course welcome, as well as anyone else that wants to join in the madness of discussing these crazy science fiction fantasy shows on the YouTubes with fellow crazies. It's a lot of fun. I get a lot out of watching shows a couple of times, and then I get even more out of it. I'm sharing the experience with you guys and the people that join us in the chat. So thanks to everyone who does, put up with all this crazy nonsense of me and Sir Eric and Super John giving you guys all the goods on the Andor verse and what we think about it. I loved it, man. I look forward to. I wish I could, hibernate for a couple weeks until the next thing comes.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I did pick up a lot of stuff because Friday, my brother and I went to a number of comic stores that were up near him, but I put it all in the toy room where I have my camera set up because I'm going to do I videoed tours of the stores, and I'm going to edit that together, and at the end do what I picked up. So it's all in there, prepared to make a video for what I picked up.
Cool.
So
are you doing a 3 a.m. vintage toys stream tomorrow morning?
On Sunday tomorrow? Yeah.
What's your subject?
What do we want? Do we want to look at Centurions this time? Did we do Centurions yet? I don't think we looked at Centurions. Let's look at Centurions.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, Valaverse.
And like, I like that new Imperial Trooper looking guy that Sir Eric got. That's a cool figure. Like, I love it.
Is. Yeah.
If I see that in the store, I'll buy it. Like,
I just hope it's not $33.
I think in US it was like 26 or whatever the exclusive price is nowadays. But it's a ton of reuse. I mean, I have no problem with the reuse, but like the only differentiation I think was
pants.
I think it's just the face, the face and the paint apps. I think that's really it.
Yeah. Huh.
So I think for like that amount of reuse, they should include other accessories that make it worth our while. But
yeah, I really like the Shore Troopers. I'm surprised we didn't see more of them in this kind of battle, because that was our introduction to Shore Troopers with the Rogue One, movie. So it'd be cool to see a little more of those.
Yeah, it's better than better than the
Black Friday online purchases from you guys.
Baby stuff, lots of stuff for my my kid that's expected in April or May. So,
cool. Like a baby monitor and stuff like that. What kind of stuff?
Strollers, stroller accessories, bassinet, like some
little Left Coast Graphics Theories onesie.
Do you have those?
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Onesies for everybody. Salacious Rum could even wear them. I pre-ordered
stuff like that.
Vern shared it on Twitter. Entertainment Earth was selling the Macquarie concept jumbo gentle giant Kenner Darth Vader for $39, and I
$39
jumped on that, man. And I got
I went for the Alien set that was normally $70 but was only $15.
The reaction one?
Yeah, the Alien.
Yeah, I got that one too. Even though I already have 2 of those figures,
I
still bought them for the other 2.
I don't have any of them.
Cheaper than buying the 2 figures at $20 each. I'm like, okay, so.
And then the Dino Riders set they had went down to $10. So I was like, I'll get another Dino Rider set so I can open one.
Yeah, there's some good deals. My buddy found a big Mondo Hordak. Mondo's this big 12-inch He-Man.
Oh yeah.
For like $39, and he ordered 2 of them. And then 3 hours later, they emailed him saying, "Sorry, we're canceling your order." So I feel for him, because he had, one cool deal of the Black Friday canceled for whatever reason. But
well, that happens sometimes too. Oh, they had the Playmo. I didn't see that. I would have bought that for $149. Wow, I've been waiting for that to go down that low.
Oh, nice.
I'll look again. Maybe they still got some.
I didn't make any super big purchases. I was looking at a couple of cameras, but I'm not an online camera buyer. Like same with my, if I need to buy a new Apple computer, I'm not a good comparison. I'm not one to buy that kind of stuff online, a TV, a computer, an iPhone, a webcam, because I want to see it. I want to know if my electronics are good quality, and if the salesperson knows anything more that's not written on the side of the box. That's usually important to me too. But maybe a camera. Like maybe for Christmas I'll get myself a decent camera instead of sticking with this iMac not HD camera when you're using the StreamYard platform. But I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses. But what else is going on today? You haven't had a flood yet, Sir Eric?
No.
Still working?
No. I got to check up on that stuff soon.
Yeah. We've hit our 2-hour mark. So I want to thank everyone for coming. And if you didn't know, I sell shit. I got some deals in my store. I got $10 Black Wampa patches.
Eric, do you happen to have, or Rick, do you happen to have a commercial about what you're talking about?
Let me pull that up here now.
I'd like to know more.
If my mouse works properly.
If your mouse works.
But also, is it going to let me click the button? Everything on my TeePublic store, my Threadless artist shop, my Redbubble store, everything is literally 40% off. So if you need a shower curtain with yak face on it, or Stormtrooper pillow, or a Luke X-Wing hoodie, you can get them all now at 40% off. So check out. It's not only TeePublic, there's also Redbubble and Threadless. They all have different things: coffee mugs, T-shirts, pins.
Look at that. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I got one more video to share. Do I have it? I'm going to present this. I got this overnight. Present.
I like how we have to present it now. We're not sharing our screens anymore.
It works.
Smirking bear. Show me a commercial to buy more.
I love this Chewy.
Yeah, it's great, right? Oh, look at that. Process video. Wow. And then they bake it, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, so what's going on here is like the pins are made. They're hard enamel. They're filled with enamel. But there's a little bit of detail on their uniforms that is screen printed, just to show some texture and whatnot. So that's a little video from my production team. So those were shipped to me today. So I'll be shipping those in the next 10 days. And I'm doing my best to get everything out so stuff can arrive in time for Santa Claus and Christmas and all that good stuff. So I do appreciate everyone's support and who has made orders over the past couple of days. I do have some sale items in my store. But just in general, over the past couple of years, you guys are all more than appreciated of it. Love you all. You keep me going. And it just wouldn't be possible without support from fellow Star Wars fans and geeks like yourselves. And you're all appreciated. Thanks to everyone in chat for coming by. Enjoy the rest of your holiday turkey weekend. Eat those leftovers, because if not, send them to me. I will all turkey leftovers. I like white meat. I like dark meat. I like the stuffing. I like the gravy. Hook me up. And if you're close by, even better. It'll be fresher. Please don't mail turkey to me from America. It will go spoiled. But thanks to Eric and thanks to John for stopping by. I know Eric has some home business to do. And Super John is going to go play with some toys and maybe take his dad out for some Taco Bell. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I thought we were watching 3 Men and a Monkey Lizard right after this, but no, they're at 5 o'clock. We got 2 hours.
Roof. I agree, puppy. It was rough. It was a rough episode, but we got through it.
Sorry about that. I think I've got some people at the door. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Eric.
Really appreciate it.
You're awesome, buddy. Appreciate you, man.
Cheers.
Bye, Eric. Bye.
Yeah.
All the best, buddy.
Good luck.
And Super John, you are doing a vintage toys tomorrow morning?
Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern.
So yeah, most of our chat members are gonna, if they're not
we see a lot
sleeping
of
at
them.
3 a.m. like I am,
Yeah,
I'll
we
try
see
to crawl out of bed.
Because Chris is always already at work by the time I come on. So
it's cool that we now know Chris can sleep at work.
Yeah.
And build Lego.
Yeah.
Has he ever fallen asleep on Lego and woken up?
Did you wake up with one stuck to your head?
A couple of indents, kind of thing.
I've had them stuck to my head before. You wake
Speaking
up and
of
there's
Lego,
like a minifigure.
Over the last weekend, I watched the Toys That Built America. The History Channel.
Those are good ones. Yeah,
and there was just a Lego episode. It was a good one. I appreciate those.
I really liked the Hot Wheels one. I thought that was very informative on the Hot Wheels versus Matchbox diecast car one it was on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're great. Like the Nacelle company they're doing great, man. All the content and none of my buttons are working. Sorry, I apologize.
Oh, okay. Going live.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
So thanks everyone for joining, and myself, Super John, and Sir Eric today. This was the Andor after show, and I'm gonna leave you with that little intro again that I played.
I think we did Centurions already. I think we did Centurions with a different brand. It might have been Matt and I that did that, or was it?
Maybe we got to do Mask.
So
Black
we did.
Truck Guy.
Didn't we do Mask already? I thought we did Mask on that show. I gotta look back and see what we haven't done yet, and I'll pull out something we haven't touched on yet.
Cool. Next week I've got an brand new episode of Let 'Em Breathe with my special guest, the Nathan Bowden Show.
Nice.
And it will be a Mr. T Pity the Fool special. So get your Mr. T merchandise and toys out. Play with them with us as we praise the mighty Mohawkness that is Mr. T, the pitier of the fools.
B.A. Baracus.
So yeah, next week
getting on no airplane without
no after show next week, but I will be back with an episode of Let 'Em Breathe with the Nathan Bowden Show. So yes, coming up we got Brian opening up a Galacticus.
Yeah. We'll have to see if his house is big enough to open it.
Open it outdoors.
Yeah, you got to open it outdoors.
So thanks everyone for stopping by today. Please remember to hit that like button, and if you didn't already subscribe, please subscribe. It helps the algorithm. And we'll go out on our little outro video. All right, here we go. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.